What's up, guys? It's Trevor Warren RC, and today we're talking Traxxas Maxx Ultimate and how these don't come fully set up out of the box. What's with that? Traxxas gave this truck all the right parts, from upgraded drivetrains to aluminum parts throughout and a better servo, but they didn't finish the setup. So today we're going to be talking the 3 things you need to do to your Traxxas Maxx Ultimate to get the full potential and get it ready to run what Traxxas should have done from the factory. Because after you get the completer pack, this is a $1,200 truck, and you want to protect that investment and you want it to go to its maximum potential. So let's start with the number 1 thing we're talking about today, that is suspension. The suspension is the first thing that you feel off when you start driving this truck. If you guys watch my first initial unboxing and review of this truck, in that video, I talk about how amazed I was that the truck slaps, chassis slaps so hard. Any jump, it didn't even matter if it was from like a foot or 2, immediate chassis slap, just bottomed out through that suspension. Honestly made me cringe with how kind of rough it felt on the truck. I didn't want the truck to break. I didn't want there to be major issues. And so I made some adjustments. To preface what I'm about to say, I also don't think that the Traxxas Maxx, not the Ultimate, is set up properly anyways. And the suspension here is set up the exact same. As you can see here, the rear of the truck squats and the front is shoved up into the air. And so there's even less travel on the rear of the truck. So what I did to start is I moved the stock rear spring, put those on the front suspension, and then ordered the 2.054 spring rate springs, put those on the back. Also, you can see they're the green springs. Put those on the back to help with some of that rebound, not get it to just blow through the suspension as quick as it normally did. Also, what I did, put 100-weight oil in all 4 shocks, and that really helps with the dampening of the truck, guys. Both changing the springs and the shock oil is something I think Traxxas really should have done from the factory. Now, shock oil is a much debated thing on how heavy you want it, but for me, I found 100 weight actually is really good. As I was trying to think through the suspension, what I can do to make it a little better, I thought that Traxxas should make the lower rear shock mounts for the Max Slash. I guess they do it for rear and front, but the rear shock mounts to kind of raise and provide more travel, they provided that. For the Max, oh guys, I think that would be almost the sweet spot where you might not need as heavy an oil, but raising that back end up would be amazing. And guys, in the comments, let me know if you think that would help some of the squat and some of the issues you've seen as well. So I did a little test before and after on suspension adjustments. Check out the first video here where everything is stock straight from the factory. You can see how quickly the truck goes through the travel and bottoms out. You can hear it on the video. Whereas the second is what it looks like after I made the adjustments. It's a lot more plush, a lot less bounce, a lot less quick travel. So I like these differences. You know, this is kind of for everyone to decide on their own, but definitely you need thicker oil and you need heavier springs. Okay, number 2, second thing you guys need to worry about, the servo. Now this is a 2085 RL servo dead from my Traxxas X-Max, and it's the same servo they use in the Max Ultimate. Now I'm not saying this is a bad servo, but what I am saying is you guys need to check the settings on this servo, especially if you have the Ultimate. You can use the Traxxas Link module to check the settings. On my second run, guys, I noticed my servo was ridiculously hot. In fact, I put a temp gun on it, 135 degrees. That's insane. I literally could not put my hand on that servo without it burning. All the other electronics were fine, which Traxxas electronics, everyone knows, a little bit iffy at best, but that's a major issue. Took it to the hobby shop because I actually couldn't figure out what was going on, and we found out there was actually some binding. I don't know if you guys can see, there's some marks right here, whoops, right there from the servo assembly hitting the servo mount. So that added some friction. Now, I don't think that's the main culprit, but guys, check to make sure we loosened the servo, kind of shifted it back a little bit in its seat, and that helped with that part, but I'm still having extremely high temperature. So as I kind of dug into this issue more, another issue that I found was that my tires, my steering was throwing one way further than it was the other, and in that one direction, my steering blocks and my caster blocks were hitting each other. That is not good for the servo. There's mechanical binding, and that was an issue, whereas the other wasn't turning nearly as far. So I had to adjust the endpoints, which I wish Traxxas would just test this and do this straight from the factory, but it's up to us to do so. But guys, I'm gonna be 100% honest because that's what I do. I'm the down-to-earth guy, giving you Traxxas experiences. I'm still having issues with my servo. It's getting really hot. I don't know what to do about it. It seems like some of my settings in the Traxxas Link app are off. I actually need to talk to Traxxas, get some information on that, and in a future video, I will keep you guys posted on what I find out, but no servo should be 135 degrees and be extremely hot, too hot to touch. So the last thing here, guys, isn't necessarily a Traxxas Maxx or Maxx Ultimate only must do. It's kind of a, when you buy any RC car, probably a great idea to do this. It's gonna be to check and tighten all of your hardware as part one. There was some hardware on here that I saw wasn't as tight as I'd like it to be. And I've had hardware fall out, different screws on first and second runs on previous trucks. And so just doing a once over on everything, making sure things are tight, screwed down is a good idea. So the second part of this is making sure that your ESC is properly calibrated, set to the factory defaults. Sometimes doesn't ship properly with all those defaults in there as default. So it's a good idea, reset the ESC, check all the hardware, make sure all your settings are set to default because things can get shifted. The Traxxas Link module I've seen have glitches. So just go in there, do a once over on the physical, the screws, but also on the electronic side of things. Make sure you're just ready for your first run, that everything's all locked down. So guys, wrapping up this video, do these three things. Number one, absolutely no negotiating on this. You guys need to dial in your suspension. It just does not come set up like we need it and want it to come set up, especially for like a hardcore basher like this truck is literally meant and built for. You have to make sure that your suspension is dialed. Number two, make sure your servo and other electronics are working like they should. Traxxas has great warranty. In the first 30 days, if there is a major issue, they'll replace items for free. Again, I'll keep you posted on how I'm doing with my servo. For $1,000, this needs to come set up and pretty much flawless, especially $140 upgraded servo. And then lastly, just do a once over on everything on the truck. Make sure, you do your own setup on your own truck. Like all your hardware is tightened, all your ESC settings are default or how you'd like them, that there's nothing weird or glitchy going on. So those are my three things I think you need to do before driving your Traxxas Maxx or Traxxas Maxx Ultimate. Let me know in the comments maybe what I missed, what I should have gone into depth further on, but I'll keep you posted on my experience with the Traxxas Maxx. Again, this is not a bad truck. It's a great, great truck. I absolutely love it. So it'll be featured on this channel more and more often. We're gonna look at durability. We're gonna look at how much fun we continue to have with the truck, but stay tuned. Please like and subscribe. Appreciate all you guys, all the support, and have a great day.